1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Welcome back to the Racial Draft Podcast. I am your host, Michael Ford, joined by the illustrious Kia Lisi herself. Kia,
Hey,
what's
hey,
up?
hey! What's up, everybody? Woo-hoo!
Huh? I mean, how's it going? Tell the world what's been up.
Nothing but Clubhouse. Just
Nothing but
taking over my life.
Clubhouse. And we do have a Racial Draft Clubhouse, don't we, Kia?
Yeah! Racial
That's
Draft Clubhouse!
that definitely sounded like the pitch of deception. But
I mean, Carlos was really, the guy for that. Yeah.
okay, we're gonna throw
It was supposed
Carlos
to
under
be
the
yeah,
We'll
totally.
throw Carlos under the bus. All right.
Yep,
Carlos is
yep.
not with us yet this week, if ever. But who has joined us is the delegate from the white delegation, Gordy himself. Gordy, how's it going?
Pretty good. Enjoying some tasty vittles out of my refrigerator.
All right.
Seems
you
to be.
tasty diddle.
I did say tasty vittles. I've turned into an old man in a few weeks, and I've decided to embrace it. Calling people around me young man and young woman. I'm going full in. I'm gonna start calling pantaloons and stuff like this. It's gonna be fun.
Well, on behalf of the other whippersnappers, we bid you a good week. And if this is your first episode, I apologize, but what we do here, we do every week, and that is change the complexion of the comic book universe. And we do that one pick at a time, one draft pick. And we are still here, racially drafting. Those of you who have been following our Fantasy Comics League shenanigans, you're going to have to be disappointed again. We do not have official scores this week, but we do still
what a
have
letdown.
supplemental picks. So let's just jump into our racial draft supplemental pick business. Let's get the show going. And we started out this round with the South Asian delegation. The South Asian delegation came through with a draft pick of Pete Wisdom. And they also, well, when I say they, I really still mean me, of course.
Hey, Mike, can you do that accent that you were doing before we started recording? The South Asian delegation.
Wow.
Can you go ahead and do that?
He is trying to get the podcast canceled right off the bat. And I won't stand for it. I won't stand for it. No, I will not.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it here. Maybe when we're not recording again, you'll feel more comfortable. Go ahead. Continue.
Wow. How dare you? How dare you? But
name is Michael Ford.
South Asian delegation. Pete Wisdom, fan casting of Naveen Andrews, who you might know from Lost. Kia, are you a fan of Naveen Andrews?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to take a second to Google Naveen Andrews?
Oh yeah, I can do that now.
He's cute enough. Okay.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, it's that guy. It's that guy. That he sought us out.
He does the thing.
Yeah, he does the thing. He's actually really hot. Like low key, if he was okay, well he's okay. In my mind, I thought he was like 5'5", but it says here he's 5'9". They're like, extending him by a couple inches, but whatever. But he's actually really hot. Like, I mean.
So have your opinions of Pete Wisdom changed by the idea that he's been fan cast by Naveen Andrews?
I mean, I mean, a little bit.
This is good news. I mean,
I
we'll
mean, a little bit. I mean, I'd have to do a one-on-one with Naveen Andrews to really figure it out, to really
well,
accept him as
shout
my
out to
Lord and
Naveen
Savior.
Andrews. Shout out to Naveen Andrews. If you'd like to come on the podcast, we will give you the opportunity to come on the podcast.
Oh
Um,
yes, kids. Never mind. uh, oh,
we
penis works. Never mind.
and let's go ahead and jump into the wiki for Pete Wisdom. Um, Pete, wait for it. Okay, Pete Wisdom.
Wiki, wiki. That was my white way of saying it. Wiki,
Oh,
wiki.
I feel respected. I feel seen.
Pete Wisdom was an agent for the British government organization Black Air, a group that conducted research and investigations of supernatural phenomena. Now Pete is the director of MI13, the department of the UK government that handles supernatural threats. Peter Paul Wisdom was born to Harold Wisdom and his wife in London, England. He's an older sister named Romani. His parents are divorced. His father is a retired detective sergeant and criminal profiler for New Scotland Yard. His mother was later killed by a spree killer named Michael Ryan, who shot Pete's mother while she waited for her son at the window. He was created by Warren Ellis and Ken Lashley in Excalibur in 1995. There are a lot of commonalities between Pete Wisdom and John Constantine, who's a DC character. He also deals with supernatural aspects. He's also kind of rough around the edges British dude. And, I just happen to think that Naveen Andrews is a good fan casting. And I think he's a good pickup in the supplemental draft for the South Asian delegation. However, what do the people think? What do you think the approval rating was for Pete Wisdom, South Asian Pete Wisdom, Kia?
0%.
What about you, Gordy? What do you think?
I can't remember if I got to get any hate in on that one, so I'm gonna say 100%.
That is correct. 100% approval rating for South Asian Pete Wisdom, including 85.7 strongly approve and 14.3% somewhat approve. So there you have it. The people love South Asian Pete Wisdom, and more importantly, they love Naveen Andrews as Pete Wisdom.
As well they should.
That brings us to the Jewish delegation, and they made their pick widely known. It's a character that I'm sure you've heard of, Kia. Jimmy
Because I'm Jewish, that's messed up.
Jimmy Olsen. What do you think of Jewish Jimmy Olsen, Kia?
Let's ask Gordy.
Listen, I love Jimmy Olsen. I loved Supergirl race bend to Jimmy Olsen. I loved the Jimmy Olsen solo series that recently came out. I am all about Superman. He's somebody who is well known across, I think, everything. And if we're going to put him in as a different race, I think that is a fantastic way to go.
I feel you.
As long as he stays a ginger, I'm down.
Now, are there a lot of Jewish gingers?
There are Jewish gingers out there.
All right, well, there you have it. Jimmy Olsen, Jewish ginger. He's still youthful. He's still like a gosh golly, type character. Getting into adventures.
And his most defining characteristic is having a watch.
And a bow tie.
Mm-hmm.
And a bow tie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jimmy Olsen, according to the wiki, is a photojournalist working at the Daily Planet, as well as a close friend of both Clark Kent and Lois Lane. In recent events, he's actually acquired the Daily Planet as the owner. He is now rich.
He could be Seth Green.
Ooh, Seth
Fan
Green.
cast.
Seth Green. What's funny though, I like the Seth Green fan cast. What's funny though is the Jewish delegation did select the fan cast.
Who cares?
But I like Seth
Mine's
Green.
better.
I like Seth Green more.
Hear that, Adam? Come on the show and tell me to my face you don't like it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. The fan cast that they chose was Noah from Stranger Things, who is like 12 years old.
Yeah, no.
I know. Now, Gordy as Noah Schnapp is the actor's name from Stranger Things. He is actually he's actually 16 years old. Now,
So pretty much 12 years old.
as the representative for the white delegation, your white Superman is buddies with Jimmy Olsen. How do you feel about him being friends with a JOO?
Wow. Can we just say that the opinions and voices of members are not universally voiced? I have no problem with it. As I know in the early scoring, I know we haven't seen all of it yet, but Superman is finally carrying his weight around here, so he can have on any team he wants.
Well, as you know, in the Snyderverse, Zack Snyder, noted anti-Semite, killed off Jimmy Olsen very quickly in his Snyderverse, and obviously there's a James Olsen in the Arrowverse who was played by Makad Brooks. Maybe he'll make a return. But yeah, in the current depictions of Superman, we're not getting a lot of Jimmy Olsen content, and clearly
that's messed up.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's messed up. But we're here in the racial draft. We fully support the friendship between Jimmy Olsen and Clark Kent.
Even if Jimmy Olsen's, a teenager.
Well, I mean, like I said, your Seth Green casting makes it a lot less icky.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My name is not Adam. It's Kia.
I am not sure I believe that. You sound like an Adam.
Well, the people made their voices known, and in terms of the approval rating, and they gave him a 90% approval rating.
Wow. Somebody still came out for the haterade. I love it.
70% strongly approve, 20% somewhat approve, 10% somewhat disapprove, and 0% strongly disapprove. So, to the extent that there was some hateration, it was just minor hateration.
Well, I can say that hateration didn't come from the resident hater, because I only do things strong.
Well, speaking of strong hate, that brings us to the white delegation's choice.
Oh,
the first
white properly.
Sorry, the white delegation.
It's the caucus delegation.
Here, have you been paying attention to these picks? Because I don't think you know that the white delegation made some history this week.
Yeah, after picking a dog, they finally decided to pick a woman?
That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah, dog before woman?
I mean, listen, I just go with the will of the people, all right?
Go with the will of the people?
Yeah, I mean...
Okay.
Are you saying that your people would rather confer rights to dogs than for women? Is this where we're at?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. That's what I heard. That's exactly what he said.
Have you ever seen this thing called history? I gotta say, I believe that is a thing that has happened already.
Well,
and here he is repeating it here in 2021.
Well, without further ado, I think it's really important to give give the respect to the choice for the white delegation, Ms. Alexandra DeWitt.
Yes.
Yeah, you might ask yourself, who is Alexandra DeWitt?
Yeah, and then I stopped caring.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and fill you in direct from the wiki.
Oh, I'm so
Alexandra DeWitt
excited.
worked past tense as a photographer for a newspaper in Los Angeles.
Is she a housewife now?
She was past tense the on again off again girlfriend of Kyle Rayner. She dated Kyle Rayner before he received the last Green Lantern power ring from Ganthet. The two had broken up because Alex found Kyle too immature. When Kyle revealed his new ring he had received, she was at first apprehensive. However, she agreed to help Kyle train himself to use this new power. She was the one that told Kyle of Hal Jordan, who vanished a few years ago. She
Hey,
helped Kyle. Hmm?
real quick, Mike, who was the guy that was on the podcast that really like was obsessed with Kyle Rayner? I forget his name.
Are you talking about Martine, Kia?
Oh yeah, Martine. Yeah, the Kyle
Wow.
Rayner.
Wow, how quickly people are forgotten. I didn't forget you, Martine. I didn't
The
forget
word
you. Wow.
Wow. We haven't
But
gotten to the best part of the wiki though, as
no,
she
no,
is.
no, no, no. We're building to it, Kia. She helped Kyle design his first costume and defeat his first villain, Ohm. Sadly, Alexandra's time with Kyle was short-lived. A few days later, when Kyle returned home, he discovered that a villain named Major Force had strangled Alex and stuffed her in his refrigerator.
Wow, that's graphic, and a white person totally wrote that shit.
So she was she was known as the first ever character to be put in the refrigerator, aka fridged. Th- That is her
Well,
claim.
maybe she was just really frigid.
That is her. I think as Adam put it, she just was treated him so coldly. Was just chilling.
As Kia said, it was only written by a white man. Gail Simone, a noted comic book writer, author, coined the fridge problem, and used this as an example of female characters being brutally murdered and or disfigured and or raped and or many other horrific things in service of advancing the male character's story.
Right.
And she
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And
After she did all
So
that work.
how do you feel like drafting Alexandra DeWitt will advance the white delegation story, kid? Gordy.
I mean, listen, I made a decision that one, it would be funny for my team of evil white men to draft the woman who is the representation of all side characters being shunted in service of the white man.
Side women character, female characters be. Gordy, we'll talk about your female problems later.
And also, she seemed like the perfect fit on my team of all male protagonists and antagonists.
Person sit in the fridge.
In the kitchen, and we'll be staying there.
Wow. Gosh. I did not expect to be frigidared. The audacity. The audacity of
the audacity of it all.
I do have a world exclusive here. We do have the exclusive fan cast of the woman that will be horribly, brutally murdered and stuffed in a refrigerator. I believe it's going to be Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh no! Goop herself.
Oh no, not the Goop.
In the MCU, her most iconic role will be that of a head in a box.
Oh, that is what's in the fridge? What's in the fridge? What's in the fridge?
It's not cold cuts.
Oh wow.
I mean, in a way, but
oh my gosh. Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow, you gone. You are gone.
Wow. Both of those are definitely meta choices in the vein of let's explore some of the even popular media and how we have shunted women to the side. See, I'm not actually evil. I'm just playing evil. That's all.
Wink, wink.
you're just showing us the absurdity of our situation. It's fitting that the Joker is part of your delegation.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, the most evil characters in this entire thing have to be Joker and White Luke Cage.
White Luke Cage, damn it.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting. Like I push it out of my mind, and then he brought it back up.
So would you
Damn
like
it.
to know the people's reaction, the approval rating of Alexandra
If
DeWitt?
it's 100%, I swear to God, I will fucking throw my phone. We'll be able.
I mean, it is definitely 100% Kia.
Oh, my cat just ran because I hit her with the phone.
66.7% strongly approve and 33.3% somewhat approve. So,
Because it's
Damn.
funny. Because if you know who Alexandra DeWitt is, you understand that my evil team of white men selecting them works out perfectly. Selecting her.
yeah, well,
Damn.
I mean,
Damn.
Correct.
Nobody objected. Nobody said, you know what? That's just wrong. So here in 2021.
Even Crypto didn't know who was in the fridge.
direct your hate
man.
tweets to Gordy924-19552.
My Russian troll bot Twitter account name. Yes.
But that brings us to the Native American delegation. Shout out to Joaquin. And
Waka 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 him.
and their choice, by their choice I mean my choice, was
There it is.
was noted. No, I'm not even gonna make this joke. Their choice was Steve Trevor.
Who the fuck is that?
You know Steve Trevor, Kia.
You've seen a Wonder Woman movie, I would assume, either the good one or the bad one.
Let's not talk about the bad one.
Well, I'll just go ahead and dive right into the wiki to refresh your memory. Colonel Steve Trevor is an Air Force pilot and the classic love interest of Wonder Woman. He is now a U.S. government agent and the head of Argus. He is also co-leader and member of the Justice League of America. Yes, that's right,
Wait,
Steve.
hold on. Time out. Technical foul. Wonder Woman is on the multiracial delegation.
That is correct.
So why did you put him on the Native American delegation?
What are you saying, that a Native American man couldn't be the love interest of multiracial Wonder Woman, Kia? Is this what we're saying?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I thought that, when you guys were picking your side pieces, that they had to be directly related to the picks that you actually had on your team.
No, not at all. Not at all. So,
That's fuckery.
So yeah, he's a military man. I mean, we know that Joaquin has an affinity for military people. You know, he's a
Because he's a Marine himself.
we know that he's a man who was able to how do we say convince a powerful woman to throw away all of her previous hopes and dreams and go along with what he stood for, which is
Wow.
I mean,
It sounds like a cult more than it does.
but at the same time, he's totally okay with being the weaker person in the relationship, which kind of makes him, a modern man, and even though he comes from an era,
a modern Joaquin.
I respect Joaquin's progressive choices, and by that I mean my choices for Joaquin. But yeah, Native American Steve Trevor.
You know what? I can get behind that.
Didn't quite come up with a fan cast, but Gordy, what do you think of Native American Steve Trevor?
I'm all about it. I mean, listen, if anyone has watched a DCEU movie, one of the Wonder Woman ones, they understand that Steve Trevor has that magic penis because Diana lived a century and is still talking about how much she missed it to everybody that she could ever meet.
That is a good point. To anyone that would, so it was really between a Native American and a black delegation for like Steve Trevor.
I mean, he definitely helped her get her groove back, I guess.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, he was her first, and she never got over it.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Wow.
You would think she would have a strong mind.
She has a strong mind, but you know when she gets
obviously not. She's still thinking about that first dick. I mean, come on, let it go already.
I mean, it must have been quite the dick.
It must have been wonderful.
She tied him up with the lasso of truth.
And he was like, "You're the best." And she's like, "I never heard those words."
Right.
Amazon don't give validation.
Well, we have gone a little bit off the rails, but it's okay because the truth is, this is what we do here at the Racial Draft. Shout out to Steve Trevor, the only man that could make Wonder Woman.
I could hit that.
You know.
The only man that would make Diana randomly bring up the fact that she lost a decade, or excuse me, century.
Talk about being obsessed, though. Like, I mean, like, can't let go. Even though I try, I can't let go.
He turned into Mariah Carey on us. Wow.
That should have been in the movie.
If you're taking requests, I'm going to say "We Belong Together" next.
Well, the people had a response to Native American Steve Trevor, and you'd be surprised to find out that it is 100% approval rating, including all 100% strongly approve.
And guess what? It was only one person that voted, and it was mine.
I can neither confirm nor deny what you say, Kia. I can neither confirm nor deny that. That brings us to the Latinx delegation with a little bit of a, I wouldn't say controversial pick, but a, pick that you might not expect. Would you like to hear who was chosen by the Latinx delegation?
Did they surprise us? Did they surprise us?
I would say somewhat surprising. Sure. Moira McTaggart, born Moira Kinross, from the X-Men world. She is a former human ally of Professor X and the X-Men, and is one of the 3 seminal founders of the mutant nation-state of Krakoa. Formerly known as Moira Kinross and later Moira McTaggart, it was revealed that she is the bearer of a running current of mutant timelines with the power to ultimately resurrect and reincarnate herself in different time streams. Yeah. She's a scientist who studies mutants, but it turns out that she is actually a mutant herself. And when she dies, she reboots the universe. She's also known as Moira X. The current line of X-Men storylines are based on the idea that she has the knowledge of all the different lifetimes that she's lived. She's now on her 10th lifetime. That's the X in Moira X. She's lived 10 lives, and she has possessed the memories of the previous lifetimes, and she is the one who came up with the idea of Krakoa. But now she's Latina. How do you feel about that, Gordy?
Listen, I'm okay with it. The Scottish people have just been stealing from my Irish people for years, so I always like to see them lose. So I am okay with Moira finding a different way in this world.
And that's the thing. I mean, she could still be married to a Scottish man to get the McTaggart name.
Yeah, I mean, or she's, since she's Moira X or Moira 10, she could be like, little Nas X and be little Moira X.
Old Town Road.
Let's wish it the devil. Oh.
Well, I love it. I think it's an awesome pick. I think she's an awesome character. She doesn't really get a lot of appearances, but she's clearly important to the X-Men mythos. And solid pick for the Latinx delegation. And
solid pick.
in terms of the approval rating, 83.3% approval rating for Latinx.
Okay, Gordy, did you do some haterade?
I mean, possibly. It might have been my dog has currently showed up into the camera, but I believe that he might have grabbed my phone and did a little bit of hating.
Just like the white delegation to blame it on the dog.
Who let the dogs out?
I'm sorry. That abomination cannot be blamed on white people. We did not create the "Who Let the Dogs Out" song. We only refuse to let it die.
You also signed the performers and made sure that their songs were played on the radio. You can't escape responsibility. But yeah, 50% strongly approve. 50% strongly approve, 33.3% somewhat approve, and 16.7% somewhat disapprove, with 0% strongly disapprove. But still strong showing for Latinx Moira McTaggart. Not a lot of hateration, which I like to see.
Is that really what you want? Not a lot of hateration, or do you like the hateration?
I mean,
then you get to say the R word, huh?
I mean, I didn't even say it though this time out.
You were thinking it. You whispered it. You lipped it. For all those people listening, he lipped it.
But that brings us to the next pick. Kia, are you familiar with a character named Peggy Carter?
No, you didn't. Yeah. Do I have to Google? I mean, I know she's wearing a strap on. I know it. I know it.
As soon as she giggled, I was like, she's going to go for the
easy. Okay. Well, that wasn't what I was expecting.
We're gonna get into Kia's inside life a little bit more than we do.
You thrusted right into that.
Agent Peggy Carter is she had a whole series, not that kind of series, Kia. She
just lied.
Oh, my mind is going. I cannot. Oh my gosh.
Well, the Polynesian delegation selected Peggy Carter.
Oh, Dorothy! Well, Dorothy, I didn't know. I just didn't know.
An agent. This is according to the wiki. An agent who fought alongside Captain America during World War II, Peggy Carter is a naturally born leader and staunch supporter of justice. Peggy Carter began her career fighting alongside French resistance during World War II. Following her stint in Europe, she teamed up with Captain America as an Avengers auxiliary before becoming one of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s most decorated agents. Her skills include espionage, covert skills, and the intellect of a super spy, and is known throughout intelligence circles as one of the most talented agents in history.
Dominating.
Her skills also include hand-to-hand combat. In addition to her intelligence, Carter is more than capable as a fighting force in hand-to-hand combat. Even as she aged into her senior years, her capacity to overpower her enemies remained extremely potent. She was played by Haley Atwell in the MCU. She also had a television show that lasted 2 seasons. But now she is Polynesian. Kia, what are your thoughts
Oh.
about Polynesian Peggy?
You got a
She's,
PP thing? Yeah, you know me.
she's really giggling at this strap-on idea. I mean, I don't know how much of this we can
Pegging Polynesian Peggy.
Are you saying that she's strapped in America?
You got a PPP? Yeah, you know me. Yeah, she's strapped.
Wow.
She's strapped and ready to go.
Strapped in America. You heard it here first. Now they provided the Polynesian delegation did provide a fan cast. Maori actress Bree Peters.
Ooh, now I gotta Google so I can get the whole visual.
Yeah.
You're Googling Bree Peters or you're Googling strap-ons? I just want to know where to go with this.
I'm hoping if I put Bree Peters plus strap on, it'll just all come up.
Well, I mean that's why you have multiple tabs. That's why we have multiple tabs on our browser.
I mean, yeah, this got
Oh
very
my god, guys, have you seen Bree Peters?
I have.
She's
I have.
pretty much like what is it? Is it Michelle Rodriguez? Who played in
Fast and the
all
Furious.
the Fast and the Furious? Yeah, she's like
Yeah.
the Polynesian version of that.
So do you
Total
approve?
pegger.
Do you approve
Yes.
of her as Peggy Carter?
Oh yeah, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
There you have it. Kia gives the stamp of approval.
Peg away.
Peggy. And the people gave us an approval rating of 96.7%. That's 86.7.
Who hated?
86.7 strongly approve, 10% somewhat approve, and 3.3%
Oh my god, that was
strongly
you, Gordy, wasn't it?
disapprove.
You don't like your women strong, do you?
Now I'm going to guess that it was this commenter who strongly disapproved on our Twitter. His name is Juggalo Jerry Jurgic. And and his comment was, it's hard to race flip Golden Age only characters. Peggy was accepted by government officials and soldiers from both Britain and America, and unfortunately both countries were incredibly racist. In the 1940s, especially would have given her way different opportunities. So he's disapproving not because of his own racism, but because of the racism of the day.
Ah,
Well,
with a name like Juggalo or Gigolo, you know why he's really objecting.
I mean, not to slander the man, but all of just letting
slander all day. Come over, find me at Kia Bism Twitter. I ain't scared.
Hey, the Juggalos are people of love. They just want to drink Faygo and do drugs under bridges and have orgies. I mean, they don't care.
Well,
to be 100% honest, I understand a little bit of where he's coming from. If you change Steve Rogers to a black man, it changes the story. It just does.
It does, but remember, we did, in season 1, Steve Rogers was multiracial. He was a white passing man of color. And in season 2, Steve Rogers is Asian.
Yeah.
And it does, and I agree, it changes the story, but I don't think it breaks the character.
No. I definitely don't think it breaks the character or makes it some kind of, makes it some impossibility or any of that ridiculous stuff that racists will tell you. But I do believe that, like Steve Rogers is one of the characters that it makes sense for, and that the discussion makes sense for. And I could see the same thing for Peggy Carter. I mean,
did you take a look at Bree Peters? I don't know if you had a chance to Google her.
Yeah, familiar with her, yes.
Yeah, like I don't think she looks so. What's a nice way of saying this?
Feminine?
What did you say?
What?
What were you saying, Kia?
What? What'd you say? Was that? Did Gordy say that? What?
He was
Uh,
not saying anything. I want nothing to do with this particular moment in time.
what what I'm saying is that I think that Bree Peters' ethnicity is not particularly readily apparent, and I think that in that time frame, I think that a lot of people would have thought her to be white, and she
Yeah, an
might not have,
Italian.
and she
Yeah.
might not have been subject to the kind of discrimination that maybe someone who was more darker skin presenting would have been exposed to.
Gigolo, take it back. Gigolo, take it back.
But that brings us to the black delegation. Are you ready
Is
for
this
the black
your pick
delegation's pick?
or was this Randy's pick?
I would imagine that Randy conferred with the rest of the black delegation for this pick. I was a little
Yeah,
take
of course.
I was a little surprised by this pick, but I approve.
Does Krakoa have a cousin?
What did you say?
Does Krakoa have a cousin?
there was not a cousin of Krakoa pick. This pick was Phil Coulson. Kia, are you familiar with Agent Coulson?
Phil Coulson, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe was the current, not the current iteration of Phil Coulson from the comic books. So this will not be an evil Phil Coulson.
Well, here's the thing.
He's
Here's
from
the
the
thing.
field.
It's the same Coulson. He just died and came back. He
So when
came
he
back.
died and came back, he was different.
Yeah, he came
according
back.
to the
He came
field.
back with a little bit more of a chip on the shoulder, but he's still the same Coulson. All right, I'll go ahead and read from the wiki. His devotion to upholding the legacy and duties of superheroes makes Phil Coulson the true definition of an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Something of a superhero fanboy due to his grandfather's rescue by the original Human Torch in World War II, Philip Coulson joined the U.S. Army to work his way through the elite ranks of the Rangers. Sent to Afghanistan, he formed a strong bond with fellow Ranger Marcus Johnson and earned the nickname Cheese. When Johnson announced his intention to return to the States to investigate his mother's murder at the hands of an organization called Leviathan, Coulson partnered with him on the mission and proved invaluable in helping solve the mysteries surrounding the heinous act. Coulson learned that his friend Johnson was in reality the son of the infamous Nick Fury, longtime director of the spy organization S.H.I.E.L.D. and a World War II hero. Both men joined S.H.I.E.L.D. to become agents, and Coulson swiftly proved to be an excellent recruit. So
Okay,
yeah,
real quick. In the TV show, which I actually watched
okay.
all of it,
hmm
I always thought that Phil Coulson really wanted to have sexual intercourse with Daisy.
Oh no, that was like his
Yeah,
daughter figure.
but yeah, exactly. But I thought they just switched it up to make it like more like less creepy by saying like, oh yeah, it's like a daughter
No, but he's
attraction
like
than
he
a
hooked up with
real attraction.
Melinda May.
Yeah, he did do that.
Who was
Yeah,
more
Melinda
age
May kicked
appropriate.
ass.
Who was more
Yeah,
age
she was.
appropriate for him.
Yeah, but I think they only did that for the TV show. Like in the comics, come on, he did try to slip her the peen, right?
I cannot confirm that
One,
happened.
but you cannot deny it either.
I mean, things happen off panel all the time, but it would be a little creepy. I choose to believe that especially Black Phil Coulson did not give Quake the peen, and he's still all about Melinda May.
I don't know. I think Daisy might have, like Daisy seemed to have daddy issues. I'm just saying, it wasn't
But
really her daddy.
but the real question is, we were not given a fan casting from the Black delegation. Kia, does a fan casting come to mind for Phil Coulson, for Black Phil Coulson?
Ooh, Black Phil Coulson. How which is the fatter one from Key and Peele?
From Peele, Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele, yeah, Jordan Peele.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
didn't.
that. I can never work in the industry ever. We listened to your podcast. We know what you said about us. I was drunk, I swear.
Well, what do you think of what do you think of Black Coulson, Gordy? Uh-oh, we've lost Gordy for a while. I guess we'll move on to the next pick. Wait,
Wait, we talked about black people. He's like, I'm out.
Black Coulson, Gordy, what do you think?
I got so offended, my phone decided that it was not allowed. I mean, listen, I didn't really have a problem with it, but I have to go with my phone. I guess I have to. I have to have an issue with it somehow. No, Phil Coulson is a fun character, and I mean anybody who is a fan of the MCU will remember his death in Avengers,
Yeah.
and the subsequent resurrection and all the fun stuff from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, I don't have a great idea for a fan cast, to be honest, but I could definitely see any like earnest, middle-aged, successful black actor pulling it off because
You know who just sprung to mind actually?
Yeah,
Hill
Jordan
Harper.
Peele.
Hill Harper.
Hill
Yeah.
Harper.
yeah, I was like, I'm not familiar, not off the top of my head. Who is that?
I am going to Google him. Kier, have you Googled him yet?
I did. He's the one with the creepy face.
He's the one with the what?
Creepy face. When he smiles, it looks really like he kind of reminds me of like a robot face, and it scares me.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. Yeah, he used to be on like ER, I think.
But actually might help with his character, Phil Carson. So it might actually.
Well, I'm going to see if I can have an ally in Carlos. Carlos,
Hey,
Carlos, just
how do
so
you
know,
feel about Hill Harper as Black
This is
Phil
the same
Coulson?
guy that had that really bad Asian accent for Just Asian Toes.
Wow.
Hill Harper.
I
I'm
think
unfamiliar
Jordan
with Hill
Peele.
Harper.
Hill Harper. Oh, okay. Well, damn.
Let's see.
He was trying to think of what show you'd know him from. I thought, like I said, I thought he was on ER. Yeah, he was on ER, but
Gordy's the ER head. I'm not an ER head.
Yeah, I definitely remember him from ER, and it works. Listen, you were born at the right time, Carlos. You should definitely have watched ER.
I don't have
He's-
20 years to watch a show. I'm sorry.
have you ever watched the
He's
show
still
The
on
Good
Grey's
Doctor?
Anatomy.
I've seen The Good Doctor, but I'm not.
He's one of the doctors on that as well.
He just always playing the doctor, huh?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he played the doctor on CSI.
Mama, I made it.
Yeah, he's
Oh, I know this guy. I'm looking him up right now.
I mean, he's better off than the Bill Cosby as a doctor.
Oh, wow, what a I didn't
Yes, Gordy, yes.
Hill Harper was in He Got Game.
Yes. I don't know.
I know Hill Harper from Spike Lee movies.
I mean, I just kind of see it. I kind of see him being able to pull it off, the Phil
I
Coulson
see
vibe.
Jordan Peele, like,
Kia says Jordan
work out a
Peele.
little bit for the
Kia
role,
says
but
Jordan
I think
Peele
I can do it.
as Coulson, and I again, I don't know.
Like,
I don't
I'm just thinking about his serious face, when he's like, talking to Daisy. Like, no, we must do these things. We must save the world.
Wow, you got Phil Coulson putting in work. He just wants to hang out with his Captain America cards, but hey.
Hey, real quick though, Heathcliff Huxtable was a gynecologist who worked out of his basement. I'm sorry, that's very on brand for Bill Cosby.
Oh, wow.
Wait, the whole time he's working from his basement?
Yeah, he was working.
His practice is the garden level apartment of his home.
Yes, it was. It surely was.
Oh,
That's canon.
Yes, and all of his
And-
patients were hot models.
And in
So
like
Bill
in season
was
like
no problem
5 or
telling
6, in season 5 or 6 of that show, he builds a soundproof room that you need a special code to enter
Oh, wow. I don't remember that at all.
for his wife, who was never there. She was always in DC because those are the years she was pregnant in real
Oof.
life. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna. So Carlos,
Oh
since
my
you,
gosh.
oh,
He
just for the
still
listeners,
told
I'm
us and
sorry.
we just
Carlos
didn't
from the
listen.
Latinx delegation has joined us. I'm gonna
Yeah, I just jumped
quickly,
in.
I'm gonna quickly run through the picks so far. We've almost got to the end of the supplemental picks, but I just want to hear your one sentence reaction to each pick.
Okay,
South Asian Pete Wisdom, fan cast Naveen Andrews.
dig it. In for it. Moving on. Let's go.
All right,
Lightning round.
lightning round. Uh, Jewish Jimmy Olsen. Kia
I mean,
substituted Seth Green as the fan casting for Jimmy Olsen.
he's like 50.
Without a paddle, I'm sorry. It's forever in my heart.
I mean, I'll go with like Can't Hardly Wait, Special K, Seth Green. I'm good. Yes.
All right. White delegation, Alex DeWitt. No fan. No. Wait. We gotta know. We got a Gwyneth Paltrow fan casting for Alex
Yes.
DeWitt.
Nice.
You know
Perfect.
what's in the fridge? What's in the fridge?
Oh, what's in the fridge?
Native American Steve Trevor.
Yeah, that tracks oddly, but it does. I don't know. Somehow that works. It's like I don't know. I dig it.
And well, I mean, now it is great opportunity for you to talk through Latinx Moira McTaggart.
Moira McTaggart, possibly the savior of mutant kind.
Mm-hmm.
Why shouldn't she be Latinx? I love the Moira issue of Hickman's run on X-Men is one of my favorite issues
Right.
of any comic book ever. I think you could make an entire limited series based on that one issue of a comic book. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, and you know we are unafraid to draft women in the Latinx delegation. So
Yeah. And you know, listen, in that comic, she's got the big earrings.
Pew, pew,
yep,
pew.
She's got the big earrings. You know,
she's got the
like,
big earrings. She's got the funky Greenwich Village.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
And she easily could have married a McTaggart. You know, she doesn't have to be Scottish by birth.
Right.
but can little Moira X be stuffed in the refrigerator? That is the question. How about this? Can she do the single door refrigerator, or are we gonna have to do like French double doors for her? Because I mean these.
I was waiting for your fan cast to be like, and our fan cast is Maytag.
May tag.
When Mike was making the Twitter post and we were, he was looking for pictures from the comics, I told him just put pictures of refrigerators.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's not play around.
I think now's a good time to also say that I definitely, Gordy, told you I had something to do with that draft pick, but I told you before that, like, just draft Martha. and then you're like, which one? I was like, no. Just Martha. Just draft the name.
The concept of Martha.
That name has ended wars.
So we also have Polynesian Peggy Carter, fan cast Bree Peters,
who I'd never heard of, but who looks perfect for that. Like, it's like, yes.
All right. Kia had a lot of fun with Peggy Carter. You missed it.
Is it the word peg? Is
Yeah.
Is?
She really behind every good man. Behind every good man is.
Cut to Steve Rogers like, I've got a date. Got to get back. And it's the same like 40s music playing, but you see it to the window. And then they cut back, and it's like Bucky, like, I hope he made it.
Maybe
Sandy, like, do you want to tell me about her? No,
I don't
Sam,
think
I don't.
I don't think I will.
I don't think I will.
Little did we know, he did all of that aging in like 1 year.
Been a long year, Sam. Been a long year. Oh, that's good. That's gold.
Oh man. And then of course Black Phil Coulson, which brings us back to speed. Now the next pick, the multiracial delegation. Not a very controversial pick, I don't think, but nonetheless, Night Nurse, but the Linda Carter Night Nurse. And the fan casting was Rosario Dawson. She's
Netflix Night Nurse.
My God, I'm really excited right there. You know,
she is Puerto Rican and black. I will go ahead and read from the wiki for Night Nurse.
And then are you gonna also read the wiki for Rosario Dawson too? Because she's your fave.
I will privately read from the Rosario Dawson wiki.
Also in He Got Game.
Yes, and also in the
Alexander.
in that movie where she's naked.
Alexander.
No, there's another movie where she's naked.
Mike knows them all.
Yes, I forgot the name of it, but I'll find it. Don't you worry, I shall find it.
I'll find it. I have to just walk over to my DVD section right here.
He's got the timestamps written on the side.
He's the guy in the comments like
Is that celebrity skin open on your computer? What is that?
Yes, for the Patreon followers, you too can see our celebrity skin accounts. Superheroes. As a night nurse, Linda Carter heals and patches up superheroes in need. Superheroics are a painful, injury-laden activity, and that's where Linda Carter comes in. As night nurse, she specializes in the unique contusions, broken bones, blunt force traumas, and other injuries associated with the vigilante life. If you wear a costume, defend the innocent from the scourges of evil, and get beat up doing so, the night nurse is who you want to see. All right. What,
so pretty much was Rosario Dawson night nurse in like Daredevil?
Yes.
She's
night nurse in a Netflix.
She was a different night nurse in the Daredevil show, but
there are 3 night nurses, right?
I believe so. Yes.
There are as many night nurses as there are Jokers.
But
Oh, okay. Because I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is not like they didn't just pick her. She already.
She's one of the
character.
night nurses. And then Rachel McAdams' character in Doctor Strange is another one of the night nurses, if I'm not mistaken.
I forgot her name.
Might even be this one.
No, she's not Linda Carter. She's but she was I believe she was one of the night nurses as well. Doctor
stripper named Night Nurse.
I mean, that's not a bad stripper name if we're being honest. But why am I forgetting the name of the character Rachel McAdams in Doctor Strange? But I will look that up while you guys vamp. Hopefully,
I think you know what? I actually felt bad for Rachel McAdams in Doctor Strange because she was given nothing to do. Like nothing.
Christine Palmer was the character's name in Doctor Strange.
Pulled that one out of the old brain refrigerator.
Right out of the wiki, right out of another wiki. But listen, I'm never gonna vote against Rosario, and let's find out what the people said. The people.
Did any of the side characters get drafted that were originally not white to begin with? Because I feel like every one of them is coming off of my overwhelming whiteness here.
You might understand the reason that we need a racial draft podcast now.
Exactly. Finally.
Like this whole time.
So currently, we actually, there's more time, listeners. If you'd like to make your voice known, there's still more time to vote for this. It looks like I may have left open extra voting time for Rosario Dawson. But right now,
we've always got more time for Rosario Dawson.
Right now, the approval rating is at 83.3%.
Oh,
let's make her 96% again.
And that's 83.3% strongly approve. And somehow the racists gave it 16.7% strongly disapprove. So I feel like if you can hear this vote, if you can hear this podcast, you just need to go ahead and strongly approve to get that approval rating up.
Or be a hater.
Or use 12 different Twitter accounts to be a hater.
Perhaps.
Listen, I drafted a woman who got stuffed in the fridge and is the highest approval rating. You've done this. So
Gordy
That
was
does speak
so
volumes. That
nervous.
does speak volumes.
Gordy was like, "If I do this, you got to back me up, Carlos." I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. What are you talking about? The one woman you drafted is the most infamous female character in the history of comic books."
Nice. And that brings us to the final pick of the supplemental draft for this round. You might know him from WandaVision or from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh,
James E. Woo. Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy!
Kia, are you a fan of Jimmy Woo?
Of course I'm a fan of Jimmy Woo. He can woo me.
The
I was like, his face was like, it wasn't good. That wasn't a good job.
James E. Woo. So either way, even if you call him Jim or Jimmy, he's still Jim E. Woo.
That's right.
Nice. That's a good trick.
So yes,
Like a card trick, you might say.
the Southeast Asian delegation with the defensive pick, going for Jimmy Woo at his time of probably the biggest level of popularity, coming off of WandaVision, coming off of the great performance by Randall Park, probably
Right?
future appearances. I'll go ahead and read his from the wiki. During the 1950s, no FBI agent had as distinguished a career as Jimmy Woo, the prime agent involved in battling the villainy of the Yellow Claw. Reborn 50 years later, he is now the head of the Atlas Foundation and the Agents of Atlas. He's basically Asian Nick Fury. And, like I said, high level of popularity.
Yeah, I mean, and wonderfully represented in the MCU.
I mean, yes and no. Like, I think that he is a delightful character, but maybe he doesn't quite have the gravitas yet to be a sort of Nick Fury level character. But
For sure. Yeah.
But I'm waiting for him to get to that point. In terms of fan approval rating, 87.5% approval rating, including 75% strongly approve, 12.5% somewhat approve, and hateration, major hateration. Because how do you pick against the East Asian character staying East Asian? 12.5% of people are anti-Asian Jimmy Woo.
I think in future polls, we need to make the strongly disapprove option just say, "I'm racist," and see what happens.
That actually would be great.
Gordy, were you behind the strongly disapprove of Asian Jimmy Woo?
You know, I'm not at liberty to say it. I have no idea.
We haven't changed the button yet, Gordy. You can say.
I have no idea. I also do not endorse any of the speaking and ill will of the sent towards the Jewish people earlier in this podcast. I know nothing.
What did I walk into?
We will not be recapping that. I feel much more.
Oh, actually, I really think that Mike should retell that joke.
I feel much more comfortable saying that I drafted a woman who knows her place and belongs in the kitchen than
You're gonna stay there.
than going down that particular rabbit hole.
Do you keep her in the crisper?
Listen, I said I only have a single door refrigerator, so I had to draft Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't have enough room for a real.
Did you have to move out? Did you have to move one of the racks, or did you have to take them all
to
out?
remove the goop.
It depends how much time I had beforehand.
God.
Wow. Well, this is
This got real weird.
this is wildly inappropriate.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen, I'm trying to take away from your anti-Semitism, okay?
I was only trying to open the door for your anti-Semitism.
How did you do that again? I need a refresher.
No,
How
no.
did you do that, Mike?
We
Don't
don't-
worry. When I
we
clip
don't
this,
make
when I
women
clip this out for social media, feel free to.
I only hope one person doesn't hear it. That's all I say.
Oh man. I'm gonna stay on my I hate women corner. And,
Yeah. You're safer there.
Yeah.
You're so much safer there.
I feel like that just makes me a part of society instead of an angry dark corner of the web that's really hoping for more Zack Snyder and restore the Zack Snyderverse.
Yeah, like like the side you're on is like, okay, that could be anyone. Like the other side is like, oh, so you were at the Capitol on the 6th of January. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I mean, this is a good time as any to transition to the news of the week. There's been a lot of news this week, guys. I know you guys can't see my T-shirt, but
What did you say,
nice.
Nick Cannon?
Yeah, it is time for Black Adam.
we actually got a brand new release date for Black Adam. As you know or might have known, that movie was supposed to. Well, it's another of the DC alleged movies that was it's been 10 years in development, but it was supposed to drop in December of this year, but it's been pushed back. Kia, Black Adam has been pushed back to July 29th, 2022.
Damn it, I gotta live another whole year? What the fuck?
I know.
But you now have Pierce Brosnan as Dr.
Hey,
Fate.
hey, we're not there yet.
Come on.
Hey.
There's a system here.
You stole Mike Cannon thunder.
Excuse me. Somebody was a big fan of the Goldeneye movie.
But yes, I guess we'll go right to that story. Gordy.
Gentrifying the news section. Jeez.
Seriously. So Black Adam is happening in next July. And there was a casting for that. Pierce Brosnan. Are you a fan of Pierce Brosnan, Kia?
Hold on. Let the Google decide.
Are you unsure of Pierce Brosnan?
You know Pierce Brosnan. Stop it.
He was James Bond.
Black Betty was written about him.
Wait. Oh.
He's Sally Field's boyfriend in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah. Like I didn't know who to root for in Mrs. Doubtfire. I was so confused. I was like, I don't know.
Well, Pierce Brosnan.
Like, I get what he's doing, but Pierce Brosnan though, like, she got him.
You may remember an earlier episode where we talked about DC's Grand Wizard, aka Dr. Fate, and Pierce Brosnan will be playing that Grand Wizard.
Wow. There's a much different reading of Dr. Fate.
Dr. Hate. You got the wrong doctor.
Did I miss it? Was Dr. Fate and Zack Snyder's Justice League?
You guys are killing me. My face hurts from laughing so much.
So, how do you feel about Pierce Brosnan donning the hood of magic?
You know, when you say it like that, it makes it.
Oh man,
Kia, how do you feel about seeing the Grand Wizard in action against Black Adam?
I'm obviously gonna watch it.
What about you guys, Carlos and Gordy?
I mean, I'm probably going to watch it anyway, but yeah, I love Pierce Brosnan. I don't know that I'm not going to be able to watch it now without this interpretation of the character. My review of it on Twitter is going to be like, oh, Black Adam was really great, except for that period in the middle where they just played Birth of a Nation. What was that? How bizarre. Weird choice, but
I mean, Black Adam is not the movie I thought that would tell the world that the proliferation of the white race made it so. But okay, and Pierce Brosnan is the harbinger of that. Okay, cool.
Yep. He will be playing.
Like,
Kent
I'm trying to
Nelson.
diversify my roles.
He is the son of an archaeologist who has taught sorcery skills and given the magical helmet of fate. He was created in the 1940s. The 1940s.
And the young part of his life was depicted in the movie American History X by Edward
Ford. So yeah, I mean, that is our Black Adam news. Good looking out for Dr. Fate. We also have in sort of similar reign of the Black Adam, other Shazam oriented figures. There was also news for the Shazam Fury of the Gods. Our everyone's friend, Helen Mirren. Kia, I know you're a fan of Helen Mirren.
Avi.
Yeah, I saw this, but I don't know what she's doing. I'm very excited for this news.
Stay tuned for the news, Gordy.
Yes, she will be playing in the Shazam Fury of the Gods movie. She'll be playing a character named Hespera, who is the daughter of Atlas. And I believe there will be another sister who I don't remember who was cast in that role. Give me a moment, but she will be playing. Dame Helen Mirren will be playing one of the villains in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. What are your thoughts, Carlos?
I mean, Helen Mirren is a god in and of herself, so it kind of fits. I mean, if you would have asked me which universe was going to get Helen Mirren to be in their superhero movies, I would not have guessed DC.
Yeah, I mean, well, Fast and the Furious got it first. The number 2 superhero franchise. But Rachel Zegler is going to be playing her sister. You might know her from the West Side Story movie that will be happening at some point in this year. So they will be playing sisters, goddess sisters.
That's interesting. I'm just kind of like realizing it now that Shazam and Wonder Woman are both like heavy into Greek mythology. I mean, this is not an original thought by any means, but like there's serious like crossover potential there. Like, why aren't they?
Well, remember I had mentioned this before. I thought that what the cameo at the end of Shazam should have been Wonder Woman instead of Superman.
Yeah,
it just felt like a more natural.
From Hackensack, New Jersey.
Rachel Zegler, yeah. I mean, she's from your side of town.
Yeah, like literally.
Maybe you know her.
Probably do.
Is she in your pegging circle?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Peggy's in the pegging circle, and she was Polynesian. Let's talk about that. Polynesian pegging Pammy. Pegging Pat. Yeah. You know what I said. I have a speech impediment.
I don't know what you said, but that's okay. Helen Mirren and Rachel Zegler have to be like, what, 60 years different?
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Rachel Zegler is 19 years old.
And how old is Helen Mirren? She's got to be nearing 80 at this point. She's in her 70s
Helen
for sure.
is 75.
Oh, okay.
75.
All right.
Born in 1945, the golden age.
All right. Well,
She was created the same year as Dr. Fate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in additional DC movie news, Kia, did you see the movie Promising Young Woman?
Not on purpose.
Oh,
Wow.
I heard Great.
I enjoy the movie. She is nominated for an Oscar for directing Promising Young Woman. Emerald
If you were
Fennell.
nominated for an Oscar, we know what the Oscars are about.
Well, Emerald Fennell, the director of Promising Young Woman, will be writing the Zatanna superhero movie. That was news from earlier in the week, which also confirms that Zatanna will be a movie.
Right.
Which is also important because at the time we didn't know whether Zatanna was going to be a movie or a TV show.
We also still don't know though is what does that mean now in the streaming era? Does that make it a theatrically released movie, or is
I
it a
didn't even
straight to
think
HBO
about.
Max movie?
Yeah, I didn't even think about the possibility that it could be a movie straight to HBO Max. I'm assuming that because they got Emerald Fennell to write it,
Right.
that
Right.
she's got enough cachet. The question that a lot of people were asking, and I guess it's a valid question, is why is she only directing? And I mean, why is she only writing and not directing? Could they not afford that bag?
I
Ooh,
mean,
just calling out other people's pockets.
I mean,
I don't know. Warner. It's not like female directors are making way more money than male directors. Like,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, they
Good
need to,
point.
if anything, if she was hired as the director, that would make more sense for them not having money. Like,
Well, no, that's why I was thinking that they were like, all right, well, you were nominated for directing, so your price tag is about to go up. So let's just bring you in as a writer, so we can underpay
yeah,
you. Then we'll bring in
Sounds
like
about
Zack
right.
Snyder to direct.
yeah, right.
Sounds about right. They all sat with Weinstein and tried to figure that shit out.
Mm.
I mean, it'd be dope if she was like writing and like Greta Gerwig was directing or something like that.
Wow, that would be quite the move for.
That Little Women movie was dope.
I still haven't seen it.
That was.
Greta Gerwig's Little Women is really good.
Mm.
I'm going to just call it here and immediately start calling it the alleged Zatanna movie because I don't think we're going to see this in the next 5 years.
These are all valid concerns.
The same way they just keep throwing Latinos into the Flash movie to keep Latinos happy. And what was the other one? Not Blue Beetle.
Yeah, Blue Beetle. What about Blue Beetle?
Was it Blue Beetle?
Yeah, Blue Beetle's allegedly getting a movie as well.
Yeah.
Directed by a Latino and
yes, by the guy who did Charm City Kings.
So Zatanna will be like the one they do to keep women happy.
Yes.
Like, and
Stay tuned.
Random women will be attached to it, and then it never gets made.
Yeah, they may as well just keep announcing random female characters to show up in the movie, since it won't be made.
Like Wonder Woman, we'll be fine.
Well, speaking of female-led DC characters, but it's somewhat transitioning into the TV realm, Batwoman. They have the two Batwomen apparently right now. They have cast a new villain that you might recognize.
Misogyny.
Yes, a male villain. Black Mask.
Nice.
And the actor
what I
who will
wear
be
every
playing
night?
exactly. The actor who will be playing Black Mask is Peter Outerbridge, whose work I am not familiar with. You might remember Black Mask from the Birds of Prey movie. Kia, were you a fan of the Birds of Prey movie?
I was.
Is it Ewan McGregor? Ewan McGregor. There we go. Sorry, guys. Ewan McGregor played Black Mask in that movie, and it's going to be hard for Outerbridge to live up to that performance, but fingers crossed. On TV, he's going to bring whatever he can bring to the table in the CW verse as Black Mask. What are your thoughts, Carlos?
I am not familiar with this actor. I just looked him up for a second, which is why my screen went black. I am not familiar with this actor, but I feel like Black Mask is a character that at this point, Ewan McGregor's, because the Birds of Prey movie was kind of its own spin-off thing anyway, the character of Black Mask is still up for, like it's still a jump ball to defining who this character is cinematically. So I think, and
Right.
including TV in that. I'm interested. I want to see, because so far it's like Ewan McGregor and I think Black Mask was in one of the Arkham games, and that's about it.
Yeah, I
Completely
would've-
like underrepresented character.
Yeah, I definitely would have liked it if they didn't kill him off. Spoiler alert for Birds of Prey, because I mean, obviously, Ewan McGregor's a good actor. I would have liked to see him kind of recur in the Batman universe. But yeah, like you said, this is an opportunity to flesh him out in the TV world, and the CW verse has done a pretty good job with some of the villains. And if this guy, I don't, like I said, I'm not familiar with his work, but if he's a good actor, then hopefully he can bring the character to life. Gordy, do you have any thoughts about, as representing the white delegation, how do you feel about the Black Mask?
It's funny. Carlos was talking about it. Black Mask has never really had, like, he's had defining comic book runs, but he surprisingly hasn't made that big defining run in any of the other media. And I think the CW, the Arrowverse, could definitely give us. I mean, we're not going to get the dark, feeding your eyeballs to your sister Black Mask from the.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yes, there is a Catwoman story where Black Mask feeds Catwoman's sister her husband's eyeballs.
Oof. Oof.
Did Thomas Harris write that?
I'll admit,
the Hannibal Lecter version of the Gotham universe.
I'm not familiar with the writer, but I'm definitely familiar with the story. And it is, I don't think we're going to get that Black Mask, but I don't think we want that Black Mask. I mean,
no.
I agree. I would agree. We don't want any of that.
I don't want the Ramsey Bolton Black Mask. As
a hater of eyeballs,
that Black Mask does fit on my refrigerator all male team. But yeah, I'd like to see a better, more in depth depiction of the character than the all over the place Black Mask, because he's basically fit in as a villain from everything from a mob boss to a sadistic eyeball feeder, and it'd be nice to have the character maybe streamlined for future comic book usage.
Yeah, for sure. And rounding out our DC news are two quick stories. One smaller than the other. I'll go ahead and say that the alleged Static movie that is going to be produced by Michael B. Jordan has found a writer in Randy McKinnon, a screenwriter. He worked on this movie called Safety for Disney Plus. He is a black man, which is good, and he will be working on this alleged Static movie. So that's the small story. I don't know a lot about the writer. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work. If you are, feel free to chime in.
As the orator of all things black culture, I'm not up on this one.
All right. I guess we'll call it the bigger news, because this comes on the heels of the alleged Restore the Snyderverse movement. The president of Warner Media, Ann Sarnoff, has made it definitive that there will not be more Snyderverse movies, nor will there be an air cut. Done. We're moving forward, according to Ann Sarnoff.
Yeah.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 5, your confidence that we won't see another Snyderverse project. I'll start with you, Gordy.
Which one is the for sure we're getting another Snyderverse project?
One is that, like, you don't believe it, that they're done, and five is that you definitely believe that they're done.
5. I honestly think that we will get an animated continuation of the Snyderverse verse.
Oh no, so then that means a 1 then.
Then a 1. Yeah, I 100%. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I 100% believe we will definitely see more Snyderverse stuff due to toxic fandom getting their way. As
All right.
we got our original Snyder return.
What about you, Carlos?
I go 4. I think that they intend to not have any Snyder verse films going forward, but money gets tight. You go back to,
Hmm.
And
what about you, Kia? 1 to 5.
Hey guys.
What do you do? We just do the same thing.
Kia, I didn't hear that, Kia.
2 with lots of pegging.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What I was saying that I agree with what Gordy said, and yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
So you think that they're probably going to add more Snyder stuff?
What Gordy said exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loud and clear, Kia.
Well.
Okay, so I bobbed for cock a little bit over here. I'm sorry, but I'm back.
All right. Well, we've got a couple Marvel stories, and then we can wind down.
That means like I fell asleep, Carlos, just in case.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I would say the biggest story of the week is that we now have an official date for the Black Widow movie. We thought we had an official date before, but it's more official now because it was supposed to be May 7th. It's been pushed back to July 9th. Where can I find it? Guys, help me out.
He's prepared.
Definitely in July.
Yeah.
Isn't it so crazy? They already had a Widows movie. Why do they need a Black Widows movie?
I mean, the Widows movie had a black woman as the
July
widow.
9th. July 9th.
July 9th, yes. So Black Widow will be moving to July 9th, and it will be, in the biggest part of the news, also both in the theaters and on Disney Plus Premier Access. Kia, are you seeing it in the theaters? Are you seeing it?
No, I have Disney Plus. Verizon gave it to me for free. What's up?
But are you going to pay the
You still gotta pay for the movie.
$29.99? Are you going to pay the $29.99 to see it on Premier Access?
I think I have Premier Access.
No, Premier
No,
Access.
you have to pay for the movie.
Yeah.
Oh no, then I will totally watch it on my app.
You don't have to confess to any kind of piracy.
It's not piracy. Somebody has taken whatever and has shared it with me. I am not going to say no and be rude to them.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
I will.
pretty
I will
sure
buy
that's
some
piracy,
memorabilia from the movie. Like I know, support. Or when I start acting, maybe then I'll be more supportive of the movies. I don't know. Maybe one day.
Yes.
Carlos is like, how dare you not pay?
I mean, I would say that
$39.99.
you would just laugh right now, so that we know that you're not confessing to committing any crimes, and you're just making a joke.
Yeah, I'm totally making a joke. Like everybody knows. Like
yeah, of course.
I don't agree. Like when I was laughing before, when I was laughing at your Jew joke, like obviously people know that I'm not anti-Semitic. Like.
Touche. Also happening on Premier Access, not in the purview of the racial draft, but Cruella will be happening on May 28th. Also,
I'm actually low-key excited about that.
Are you $30 excited about it? Okay. Don't hit the pitch of deception.
Yes, I'm very excited.
But yes, so this is a big news because this is the first Marvel project that is going to be going to Premier Access. They've already tried it with Raya and the Last Dragon, and also with Mulan, and of course, it's only right that noted Asian American Scarlett Johansson get her, as well as noted Asian American Emma Stone. They're really doing their part to
all Asian-led projects at Disney.
Yeah, this is a premier Asian access.
I feel like they reserve the right to pull that day and date status. Like if people start going out to theaters again before July 9th, they'll be like, yeah, screw it. We're only going out to theaters.
See,
Yep.
Are you gonna go, Carlos? Are you gonna go to the theater and watch it?
Hey, I'm vaxxed. I'm going to the theaters this month to see Scott Pilgrim. They're re-releasing it.
well, see, I think that just to
Ooh,
hedge their bets,
You're a rebel. You're a
like
rebel.
I don't think it hurts Disney in any way to do premiere access.
I
So
agree.
so you know, I mean, obviously there'll be people in the theater industry who are a little miffed, but like you said, if people want to get out and be among the people, it's still cheaper to go to the theater than to pay $30 for premiere access.
I thought that like you could rent out theaters now for $30.
No,
But you
you rent
can't rent
theaters
out-
out at like $100, I think.
And you don't get new movies; you get old movies.
Oh, was that a thing?
Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
refreshing.
you rent like a movie. Like for instance, if you went there now, you could probably rent for like Jurassic Park or something like that.
Okay, but nothing,
Yeah.
nothing first run.
Nothing current.
Oh.
Yeah, you might be able to get stuff that came out last year, but nothing current.
Okay,
So if you want to see Sonic the Hedgehog again,
you
in
could rent out the
theaters,
theater for that.
yeah, you could probably do that.
Got it.
Oh, that's no fun. Like, I want the power of like, renting out this movie theater and watching the movie all by my goddamn self and be like,
Right.
and have the guy come up and be like, what would you like to eat? Well,
I mean, if you're gonna pay $100 to see a movie in a theater on your own, why not pay $30 to see it in your home?
well, because
Yeah,
the
then you
guy
could do it
bringing me
naked.
food and ordering food, the
I mean, you could.
AMC.
All of that is stuff you can
Dining.
do from your house.
I mean, there's a there. I don't know if you've heard, Kia. There's a thing called Uber Eats, and
Yeah.
you could totally answer the door naked and pick up your Uber Eats, if you'd like.
Gordy, right? Like that was inappropriate. Inappropriate as fuck, right?
Whatever floats your boat, Kia.
Yeah.
Man, what a mercy. Oopsies. They're not worthy.
But
All right, but guys, my phone is down to like 5%, so I'm gonna say peace. But
All right,
I'm
thanks
glad I
for-
was here for the anti-Semitism after show.
I think that's the name of this whole podcast right now.
all right, so we have one last story before we go. It involves
All right, bye, Carlos.
by Carlos. It involves a character that we've talked about in an earlier show, and that character's name is Echo. Kia, do you remember Echo?
I do remember Echo. It's some fucked up shit. Like calling her Echo, though you know she can't hear. Like that's messed up.
Well, without addressing that directly.
I think that's so messed up. Like, who wrote that? Like, that's messed up. It's like calling somebody left eye, but they like lost their eye. Like, somebody like, gouged it out. Like, like that's messed up. Like, it's just a reminder of what they don't have.
It's like calling a short guy big guy. We get it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what you did, writers. You know what you did.
Well,
I've been called slim in my day, and let me tell you, that was hurtful.
well, Echo has been cast.
That was a real bullying.
Echo had been cast for a while for the Hawkeye series, and she there are some stories that came out. She's going to get her own Disney Plus series. It's in development. So this is
Okay.
a
And who's playing her?
the actress's name is Alakwa Cox, and we haven't yet seen.
And is she a real life Echo?
She is Native American and deaf.
Oh, I was
Okay.
wondering what that meant. I was like, is she a superhero? I don't think so.
Is she a real life
So
Echo? Yeah. Okay. Well then, good. All right. I like that. I like what they were doing there.
yeah,
I appreciate that
Eton
very much. So.
Eton Cohen and Emily Cohen are attached to write and executive produce. I'm assuming they're either related or married. Yeah.
That must be horrible having to work with your significant other. Ugh.
I mean, it depends on how much you
Corey's like, yeah,
like your
not me.
significant
He
other.
has two thumbs and wouldn't do that.
That is
Yeah,
not
YouTube.
Wi-Fi.
YouTube.
I think, although to keep on topic a little bit, I think it's interesting that we're getting. This is the first full television spinoff,
Sure.
and I mean, I assume the character will be introduced still in Hawkeye,
Mm-hmm.
and then we see her further adventures later. So I'm a little appreciative of Marvel. I don't know. It's a little weird. I feel like Marvel is anticipating the fan reaction, but also
Mhm.
maybe dictating that fan reaction in a way.
In a way, sure. Well, I am going to take a bow because I don't know if you guys remember, but way back in December when there was a certain auto draft for the Native American delegation. I seem to remember that the original auto draft pick for the Native American delegation. Kid, do you remember who the first round draft pick for the Native American delegation was?
I don't know. Who'd you pick?
It's Echo.
It's Echo.
So,
The white delegation calls that time that you're speaking of the before times, because that was before I was here. So that's round one BG. We don't acknowledge how those things happened, because that's how the team wound up with Colossus and all of the anger that has stemmed from that pick.
Well, Echo, the bonus points for Echo getting a project will be accounted for when we get FCL points. So, just goes to show that maybe
retaliate. Shots
you know,
fired.
I mean, maybe the Native American delegation knew what they were doing when they drafted Echo in the first round. Just saying.
Yeah.
With the auto draft.
The announcement of Disney Plus 2, I would assume, is going to lead to a new comic series, at least an attempt at one.
Yes, I
So
imagine.
crazy.
I imagine.
Oh, you know what would be crazy is they actually listen to our podcast and then they're like, oh my God, that's actually a great idea. And then they start implementing things from this said podcast.
I would love that. Disney, if you're listening, go ahead and promote our podcast. Go ahead and give a little money
Come on,
to our
credit's not going to be given.
give a little money to our Patreon. Go ahead and promote our
How much do I
Instagram.
get of that Patreon? Like, is it like 50-50?
We can talk about it.
I'll believe that they're listening when Dr. Fate replaces the helmet with a hood.
The-
If it does, I should have got a screenshot and make it like
when
forever.
the first time he's referred to as their Grand Wizard, that's when we'll know.
Oh man, I just now I can see is Kent. What's his last?
Nelson.
Yeah, if Kent Nelson like wish or somehow changing the helmet of fate into like a pillowcase with two holes in it.
It just gets a little pointy at the top.
Yeah.
He comes riding in on a horse. Kent Nelson.
The horse that also has a white hood on.
Yep.
There's some stuff to be mined there. I like it. I've often made jokes that I want to hear Captain America's inside thoughts when he gets defrosted and meets Samuel Jackson.
Nick Fury, of course.
I would love that, but I don't know. Now I think I want to see 1920s Kent Nelson in the background of all of those really bad Watchmen scenes from Tulsa.
He said, I could totally intervene, but should I?
Nah.
But they're not people, so it's okay.
Oh, God.
That's the same thing he said about women.
Oh man. All right. Well, we should probably move on to what we'd like to see in the next round of the supplemental draft. Kia, what would you like to see from the various delegations in the
Women that
supplemental
stay
draft?
alive on Gordy's team.
What did you say? You'd like a woman who's
Women that stay
alive?
alive on
Living woman? That is a lot to
a
ask.
living, breathing woman.
That is a lot to ask.
That will not happen.
Wow. Wow.
That will not happen.
You know, there are other people involved in the white delegation, Gordy.
Yes, and they described the time before me as BG, so I'm running things. And under my watch, we will only be drafting women whose entire lives were used as fodder for the male characters in their life.
Wow. This is a sad state.
Listen, I didn't write the stories. I didn't put her in the fridge after.
That's what he said too.
All right. What else would you like to see, Kia, from the various delegations?
I'd like to see like more your picks, Mike. You know, being better.
Don't worry. There'll be some more. There'll be some more.
Yeah, better. Work on yours.
All right.
I know it's your first time drafting and all, but you know. What
Well,
would you like to see, Gordy?
Listen, I have used these picks to shed humorous insights into the weird things that white people and white male writers do, and white people's love of dogs. So, I mean, listen. These picks are fun, and they're supposed to be fun. And if they open up us to have fantastic, ridiculous conversations on this podcast, that is all the better. So I want to see the teams dig real deep into the old back rooms and find some deep, long lost characters that we can highlight and talk about insanity in the comic book universe that we've all read.
all right.
I like it.
That's a very
I
diplomatic
like it.
answer. I fully acknowledge it. I mean, you know, because by tomorrow, when I'm canceled,
And somebody flips the podcast according to a certain someone.
yeah, by tomorrow, it'll be important that Gordy's here to speak in reasonable tones as the new host of the podcast.
Lock it down with a Whirlpool Frigidaire sponsorship.
Yeah, his first episode is gonna be like, Kia's not here because she's in the freezer.
Oh man, well,
Wait, what size Whirlpool fridge are you? You 17 and a half cubic feet.
I'm just gonna go with small. I'm just gonna go with mini fridge.
Oh, but you know what? Like I really mean it. Some of this, like a lot of these are here to highlight the insanity that comics have been. And something like this is something that we can all talk about, is a thing that happened. No one writing a story outside of Zack Snyder is going to use a woman just to advance the stories of men, hopefully, anymore. You know, hopefully those days are over. We can talk about whether Lois Lane did anything in the Snyderverse and was just getting set up to get killed, but that might be a little bit of a different story. But yeah, there is a little bit, I think, of benefits of highlighting these ridiculous things.
all right.
Yeah, you do a good job of it, Gordy, honestly. Yeah, unlike the anti-Semite.
Wow. I'm never gonna live that down. Never gonna live that down. Yeah, as I say every week, if this is your first episode, we apologize, and never more than after this
But
episode.
Mike Cannon over there really apologized.
But if this is your bag, if this is the kind of entertainment that you'd like to consume every week, come on back. Subscribe to us on all your favorite podcast platforms, whether it's Anchor, Apple, Google, Spotify. Where else do you get your podcast, Kia?
Oh yeah, on
Stitcher,
the internet.
Stitcher,
Luminary. I know
Luminary.
one of the owners of Luminary. I can attest that if you tell your Google Home, hey Google, listen to Racial Draft podcast, you will find us. As
Nice.
my dogs have been listening for days.
Really? Fuck.
You can also find us. We now have a brand new YouTube page. We actually have content on our YouTube. You can also find us on Clubhouse, right, Kia?
Yes, you can. Where's Carlos?
on Instagram, on Facebook, Instagram at racial.draft, Facebook at racial draft, obviously on Twitter at racial draft pod. Go ahead and holler at us. Let us know how badly you want to cancel me. MTFIII on Twitter. Also, talk about who you'd like to see drafted in the supplemental draft. Talk about why we haven't gotten FCL points in the last little bit, and why we will get them the next week, so we can find out who's winning. Kia, who do you think's winning?
Obviously, the white team.
I'm gonna guess the Latinx team because Batman's still Batmaning.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
The week of the Snyder Cut is over, so yeah, I'm gonna agree with Mike and think that the Latinx team has reminded all of us that we're playing for second place.
yeah, one thing I did see is that as far as the DC points were concerned, he blew everybody away on the DC side. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the multiracial team. They've been a strong player. Wonder Woman's still out there putting up mega points.
See
Some of the
that?
other,
See a woman doing that, Gordy? You see that? You see that?
Listen, I don't have a problem with it as long as she's not doing it on my team.
oh wow. And for those of you tracking bonus points, I believe starting this week, Supergirl's back on television, which means bonus points
She'll
for
be doing
the
nothing.
bonus points for
Mhm.
Supergirl on TV. Bonus points for Lex Luthor, the main Lex Luthor.
But she only gets bonus points if you watch the show. Gordy, do you watch the show?
I do. I love Supergirl. It's fantastic. I'm very excited. John Cryer Lex Luthor is my Lex Luthor.
He's a really cool character. He's a
Damn it.
really cool version of Luthor.
He really does watch it.
Yeah. So
He got me.
I forgot the actor's name, but you give me sexy Jimmy Olsen and I'm in.
Makad Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's going to be in. He left the the Arrowverse, and now he's going to be part of Mortal Kombat. He and his Steve Harvey mustache.
Mortal Kombat me.
He's going to finish you. Is that what you're saying?
Finish me.
Fatality.
Oh man, I totally forgot what I was going to say after that.
Well, I guess all things.
Wrap it up.
Oh man, yeah.
Much like Kia tells the men in her life, let's wrap this thing up.
Let's wrap this thing up. Well, guys.
Damn right.
If you can also follow, I now remembered. We're doing a instant reactions pod for the Winter Falcon, aka Falcon and Winter Soldier. When you watch the show on Fridays, go ahead and listen to our show where we talk about our thoughts as soon as the show airs, and we'll try to keep that up for the remainder of the season. But yeah, we're here. We're the Racial Draft Podcast, and we're talking about all different types of things that are changing the complexion of the comic books universe. But until next
Gordy
time,
earned it. I think Gordy earned this one.
oh, Until next time, Gordy.
Wow. Wow. No, I don't. I feel uncomfortable. But
Oh, so now you don't want to say it with our anti-Semitic podcast?
Oh, wow.
I think it goes. It says all fridges are possible, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, wow. I'm not going to let that stand. All things are possible.
One, two.